principles or whatever, was it was like, no, 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 look around you. You live, it's like we live on a trampoline, and if we move, it affects a whole lot of people. So you have to be very aware of those relationships. So it was not as if women were taking the opposite, they were questioning the whole paradigm, not explicitly, but implicitly. I remember I was teaching a section of this class where they were talking about moral dilemmas. If you were in a lifeboat, you jump out, that kind of thing. So anyway, then the Vietnam War was going on, and college students were being drafted. And in my section, we tried to talk about the war, and the students didn't want to talk about it. And I thought that was very interesting, particularly the men. And the reason was, I realized, is that their decisions about the war were based not only on, timeless principles of just and unjust war, but how their actions would affect people who they loved and cared about, their family, maybe a love relationship or something. And they knew that to care about relationships was to be like a woman. So they didn't want to say it. But they also had enough integrity that they didn't want to misrepresent themselves. So I remember, as a teaching move, I we read Camus' novel The Plague, which is, if you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a city, and the plague comes, even though you weren't responsible, what was your responsibility to other people and so forth? And I remember it was great because we were in this long discussion of this novel, The Plague, and one of the students said, "That's the draft dilemma." And then we really started talking about it. So I knew that these theories that represented men as thinking only in the abstract, if they were morally mature and so forth, were not reflecting men's life either.